What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk to you about SoundHound. I want to go over some expectations for this upcoming week, what might cause some volatility in the stock price, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So starting off with macro data, we do have a lot of inflationary linked data. So on Monday, we have consumer inflation expectations. Tuesday, non-farm payroll annual revision. So potentially that one could impact the market as well as this. So last week we had a lot of labor linked data that pretty much gave us this. So an 89% likelihood for the upcoming September 17th meeting, a 25 basis point cut, and then a 11% likelihood of a 50 basis point cut, because Powell was and is more concerned over labor linked data rather than inflationary data. So when it comes down to this, so the non-farm payroll, that one could be something that impacts the likelihood of a cut and potentially might take the 50 off the table, the 50 basis point cut, although I don't really see that being done most likely. But aside from that, on Wednesday we have PPI, Thursday CPI, and then Friday Michigan consumer sentiment. So most likely a lot of these data points, the inflationary data points, will move the market, but not necessarily this for the rate cuts. So again, that's kind of a positive if you ask me. Even in SoundHound's last earnings, they really signaled that inflation is really affecting their customers. So again, obviously a lot of these data points is going to really move the market. As far as companies unveiling their earnings, nothing really crazy. One potentially could impact SoundHound, and that is GameStop. I've kind of signaled this in the past, but if GameStop, let's say, for instance, has a very good earnings, whoever is shorting GameStop might start to mitigate risk and start to cut losses across the board, potentially causing a little bit of a ripple. So a lot of stocks are heavily shorted might start to move higher. So of course, SoundHound going into this upcoming week, 33.95% of the free float is being shorted. So that is very high. And given roughly 35.2 is the all-time high short interest, it's just way too high for what SoundHound actually does achieve operationally. But 123.86 million shares overall are being shorted. So again, GameStop might kind of cause a little bit of a ripple, causing shorts to return, which in my opinion is rather overdue. And with the DTC at 2.71 days, that does show that shorts are also overextended. That factors in SoundHound's average volume in comparison to number of shares being shorted. Looking at options, or actually quickly going over here. So there is one fireside chat that they're going to be participating in. So that is on September 11th, Piper Sandler Growth Frontiers Conference. So potentially if they continue the good momentum of what they stated on the Citi's Global TMT conference, then SoundHound should really move higher because of that. And for those of you that didn't listen to this, the Citi's one, I did post it on my channel, and there was a lot of good things. So a lot of M&A kind of being signaled. Also, the growth that they did achieve on their Q2, it is now fair to assume that is going to be also hit in Q3 and also Q4. So potentially higher highs might be coming because of that. So like I said, at the Piper Sandler conference, hopefully they do continue that kind of positive momentum. Looking at the options, you see a consensus for this upcoming week for it to be roughly around that 15 to 15.50. Bears are anticipating for it to be sub roughly $13. So there's going to be a little bit more of a back and forth. Reason why bears are anticipating 13 is based on the technicals. So right now with that 14.26, I'm looking at the 1-day chart as well. It is trading between this R1 and the pivot. So 13.23 is going to be the next strong support. So bears are anticipating for that to kind of break. Flip side, 16.09 is going to be the next strong target slash resistance, followed by 1782. So I do feel that there is a good chance that we could see this pivot point being touched, but most likely what is going to occur is it'll bounce off of that and trend higher, because of course if we pop over here, just look at the market position as it stands, there's not really that much large sellers. Couple roughly around that 1550 for the most part. couple of roughly also around where we are currently. But if we get a nice push higher fast and early on in the week, we could easily blow up. So something again to keep in mind. Even flip side though, looking at this same thing, you do see a lot of good buyers. So there's also going to be a lot of support roughly around that 1330 and below, which of course is what I just mentioned based on the fib levels. I don't really anticipate any new analyst ratings. So last couple of ratings did come out, looks like on August the 19th and August 11th. They were okay. So one was a reduction. So OpenAI changed it from 1750 to 17 to 15, and then HC Wainwright is $18. So most likely we won't be seeing any new ratings up until SoundHound's upcoming earnings, which the official date has not been announced just yet. But at the end of the day, I do feel, given everything and just the market sentiment, there is a lot more upside anticipated. So most likely by the end of the week, it will be kind of flirting with this R1, so roughly around that $16. But like I said, most likely what will occur before that is it will kind of touch this pivot point. So for those of you that want to day trade, swing trade, do options, just plan accordingly. So let me know your thoughts on SoundHound. Where do you see things going for this upcoming week? Do you feel that there's some unknown catalyst that they have in their back pocket that they're going to unveil? Or do you think this is pretty much it? One thing to keep in mind though, in the next couple of weeks, you will start to see more and more institutions kind of rebalancing their portfolios, because of course we're nearing the end of Q3. So that might cause some extra volatility when it comes down to SoundHound. So again, just keep that in mind. And volatility and options, they're best friends. So if you haven't done and started to do options yet, whether it be on SoundHound or any other stock, take advantage. No time like the present to start to learn. So there's a lot of free paper accounts that you can always just practice with. And if you're good at it, then go to the real world and kind of try it out. So let me know your thoughts on SoundHound. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. One final thing though, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, many of which have been absolutely on point lately. So worthwhile to kind of check it out. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.